Satya Manaha Om Shanti Shanti Shantihi. We will chant the first verse and then we will continue with that. Mano buddhya hankara chittani naham. Mano buddhya hankara chittani naham. Na cha shrotra jihve na cha ghrana netre. Na cha shrotra jihve na cha ghrana netre. न च व्योम भूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः न च व्योम भूमिर्न तेजो न वायुः चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहं चिदानन्दरूपः शिवोऽहं शिवोऽहम्. Negation is a very important part of the pedagogical teachings of Advaita Vedanta. It's an important methodology because there is a mix-up, the negation is needed. Negation in Sanskrit is called pratishedha. And we have a saying, prasaktasya pratishedha. Prasakta means only that which is negated is that which has the possibility of being mistaken. So only a possibility is negated. For example, there is a Vedic statement that says, Suram na pibet, do not drink alcohol. Why? Because the possibility is there of drinking alcohol. It does not say agnim na pibet. It doesn't say don't drink fire because nobody drinks fire. So that which is negated is always that where the possibility of taking something as oneself is there. That is why the negation is an important pedagogical tool. Because there is a mix-up, because there is a wrong identification, because there is a mistake, adhyasa. There is a projection on the self, and the stock example we have is what? Rope, snake. You come and look, there is something there indistinct on the floor, and then what do you conclude? Snake. Why? Because you can't see it clearly. Then you have your mobile phone. Oh, to take a photograph of the snake? No, 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 you dare not do that. What is the phone for? To call 911? No, 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 not even for that. What is the phone for? Ah, very good. To see, because the phone has everything. We're not just talking. Yeah, the next generation will also make tea. Okay? Yeah, so, so the phone has a flashlight, a torch, and then I shine the torch on the so-called snake, and it turns out to be what? A harmless rope. That's why this kind of a projection is called aropa. You see, there is a kind of a synergy between English and Sanskrit. So the rope is merely, the snake is merely an aropa on the rope, a projection on the rope. And when the projection is withdrawn, what it is shines on its own. It doesn't have to, you don't have to then write a thesis, a PhD thesis on rope because it is already there. It is evident. The mistake is removed. And this is our stock example of the adhyasa. Adhyasa means a projection. And this adhyasa, this projection, is of two types. One is, it is a adhyasa that is a mistake that is made because of the presence of a strong desire to acquire something, or a mistake is often made because of a strong desire to get away from something. In other words, the first one is strong preference, raga, that raga becomes the reason for the mistake. And then the other reason for the mistake is what? Dvesha. That becomes another reason. Dvesha means strong prejudices, become the second reason for the mistake. Now these two are the pravartakas, the impellers or the immediate cause of the mistake is these two things. And in fact, that comprises all our pursuits in life. Everything is either running towards something or running away from something. Whole life is like that. You run towards comfortable situations, what you think are comfortable situations, comfortable people, comfortable things. And then you run away from uncomfortable situations, uncomfortable people, uncomfortable things. Mind you, comfortable and uncomfortable are subjective definitions. So the rope snake is an example of what? Running away. We also have an example which is running towards. And that, the stock example for that is the shining silver coin which you see on the beach. Big silver coin. Maybe there is a new government in the United States and the new government has released some silver coins. Everybody is happy. So I run towards the silver coin, silver within heavy quotes, and then what do I see there? What is it? A piece of shell, mother of pearl. Yes, pearl is expensive. Mother is not expensive. Mother is, mother is cheap, yes. Mother is just the house of the pearl. And it has a certain shine when the sun is falling on it, it looks like silver. This is pravrityatmaka adhyasa. And the other one, the snake, is nivrityatmaka. Nivritti, pravritti, running away, running towards. This is the whole life. And the mistakes are because of these two tendencies. But here also we must not stop. We should go further down and see why these two tendencies have taken hold of me. Why am I constantly running towards something and running away from something? And we of course saw raga, dvesha, strong preferences and prejudices. Then we have to ask another why. Why do I have why am I in the grip of strong preferences and prejudices? Because that too is a projection. That I am a liker, that I am a disliker, itself is a projection. Because from the standpoint of Vedanta Shastra, the Vedanta, the teachings, anything that is variable, anything that comes and goes is a projection. And as though projection on the self, Atman, which is free of all projections at all times, in every which way. So even the likes and dislikes are a projection. Why are they there? Because I do not know the nature of myself. That is why there are all these projections. So therefore, we begin, in fact, the first 3 lines are 3/4 of the teaching to show that 3/4 of the teaching, in fact, the Shastra is also Nivrityatmakam Shastram. The Shastra also is primarily using the pedagogy, the methodology of negation in order to make this truth come forward. Why? Because what I am is being self-evident. I don't need somebody to tell me, that I exist. I am already self-luminous, self-effulgent, self-evident. Atma is not pramana siddha, it is swatas siddha vastu, meaning it's already there. It doesn't have to be established by a means of knowledge. Oh, I see Atma. If anybody says that, stay far away from them, okay? Because they are not telling the truth. That which cannot be seen is Atma. The content, the nature of the seer is the Atma. And sometimes they say, oh, I hear the Atma. When I'm in a deep state of meditation, I heard the Atma. I have told you in the last trip also. What did I say? That any noise you hear in deep meditation are digestive juices adjusting themselves. It is not the sound of Atma. Gudu gudu gudu. Kuru kuru kuru. This is what it is. It is not Atma, okay? Yeah, it says, okay, time for brunch is approaching. That's all it says. Yeah, brunch or supper or something is approaching. It's not Atma, it's not heralding the coming of Atma. That which does not come is Atma, that which does not go is Atma. It's the invariable in and through all the experiences. And so therefore you cannot see it. It's not an object of sight, it's not an object of hearing, it's the truth of the hearer, it's not an object of touch, smell, anything. It cannot be picked up by the sense organs. And it is not the body. The body, of course, everything is Atma, but Atma cannot just be the body because it is limitless and all-pervasive. And this being the case, we have to be very, very clear what is it that we are negating. When we look at this verse, the translation is also there. You will see that we start with the mind. Actually, where should we start? Where is the first confusion? Body. The body is taken to be I. That is where I have to start. I have to start the negation by saying, I am not this body. Then after that I go to the mind. But here it looks like the author might have skipped something and gone straight to the mind. The question is that a mistake? The answer is no. Short answer is no, it's not a mistake. It starts with the mind. Na aham, na aham. Mano, buddhi, ahankara, chittani. I am not these four things. First four things are negated. The first thing that is to be negated, na aham, I am not the mind. And one wonders, why do we not start with the body? The reason for this is very sound, because it is appealing to the one listening to this. And the one who is harboring a lot of complexes about the body, about the mind, etc. But the first appeal and the first appeal for negation is the mind, because the mind is what is absorbing this knowledge. That is why we begin with negating the mind as the author of this knowledge. The mind cannot be the agent of the knowledge. It is not the author. It is simply a servant of this knowledge. So therefore, manaha na aham. Manaha na aham. I am not this mind. And we saw yesterday in the Shastra we have certain, the mind is divided into four faculties. Just to revise very quickly, that which is indecisive, and then that is called manaha, mind. That which is decisive is called buddhi, intellect. And then we have chittam, memory, emotions, etc. And then finally we have what? Ahankara, the one that owns up everything as me, me, me. All these three are me, that one. The body is me, the one that says, this is ahankara. And so, the mind is negated first and foremost, because this is the one that is a difficult entity. Why is the mind called as such? Because the best thing you can say about the mind is, never mind. That's all you can say. It's crazy. It makes you go round and round. It doesn't know what it wants. It leads you all over the place. And the ahankara, the ego, appropriates the mind and then puts it on a pedestal, gives it a lot of importance which it does not have. It tells the mind, you are the best, east or west, and you without look at you, you have so many great sankalpas. Sankalpas means so many great creative ideas. You are amazing. And the ahankara, what does it do? It puts a crown on the head of the mind and keeps it in the center. And so the mind is a very difficult entity to manage. Arjuna says so in the Bhagavad Gita. Because Lord Krishna starts talking to him about meditation. And then Arjuna throws up his hands helplessly and says, you know, this mind is very difficult to manage. You are asking me to hold the mind. If you ask me to bring a fistful of air and give it to you, that's easier than holding this mind. Because the mind is chanchala. Chanchala means always moving. It is never in one place. But what do we do in meditation? We try to put it in one place. Seems like an impossible task. The mind, it is always moving. But then we can't complain it's always moving. Thank God it's always moving. Otherwise, whatever I see, it will just be stuck there in the head. Let's see, first I see a flower. Okay, nice flower, that's in my head. It has not gone away. The mind has not moved from the flower. Then I see a pot. No problem. Then the two together, flower pot, that's nice. But the next thing I see is an elephant. What are we going to do now? Where are we going to put it? Balancing on the flower pot, the elephant. And then I see a ball, and then balancing on the tusk of the elephant is a ball. It is like this. The whole day, it will all accumulate. Everything will accumulate. And so therefore, the mind is full. It's called kshanika, temporary, very, very fleeting. Kshanika means fleeting. We can't complain it is fleeting, because this is how perception takes place. Even the simple movement of a hand from this side to that side, how smoothly it just, you see, how smoothly and seamlessly the sight, the perception of the hand in space, moving in space, takes place effortlessly. If the mind was stuck, we would be seeing it like this, like a bad cartoon. But there is no lag. It is seamless and easy. So we cannot complain that the mind does not stay. It's not supposed to stay. It's not supposed to stay at all. And in fact, it is a storehouse of vrittis. Vrityatmakam, it is, vritti means thoughts. Modification, the mind modifies into a thought, and then there is one more thought, thought upon thought, so many thoughts, so little time. This is the mind. And this mind has to be negated as being the truth of myself, the Atman, primarily because that is first of all not true, and secondly, what is the Atma? It is that which does not ever change. Navyabhicharati, does not change. No change at all. That which is the invariable in every experience, in every thought, that is Atma. And we'll talk more about that. So therefore, the mind, which is a superficial entity, there to, for vyavahara, it is there to help me transact business in the world. It helps me to walk, it helps me to talk, it helps me to do this and that and everything. It cannot be me, because it is changing all the time. And what I am is Sat. Sat means it is that which is self-existent is called Sat. And I am the only source of self-existence. The I alone is the source of self-existence. Everything else exists after the I. It exists because of the I, we can even say that. So therefore, this source of self-existent I does not change. Is not here today, gone tomorrow. In fact, it has no birth date. It has no birth date. That's why in India we are not big on birthdays, really. You celebrate the first birthday And then after that, you straight away celebrate the 60th birthday. What about 59? Do something, let's see. Do something meaningful where you deserve a cake and you deserve to be sung to and you deserve a puja. Do something in life. Achieve something. Then we will see. So the first birthday is important to celebrate because the child has survived birth. Birth is traumatic. Anything could have happened. So first birthday is celebrated. After that, 60th birthday, because at that age there is a lot of planets coming back to how they were astrologically at the time of birth. And so therefore, it is important to celebrate. It's important to ask for protection, prayers, etc. And so that's why. We are not big on birthdays. Why? Because we are trying to see the birthless Atma, the deathless Atma as what? Myself. That is why we don't say many happy returns. We don't want to return in the next life. Happy birthday, theek hai. You can say that. Don't say many happy returns, okay? Yeah. Don't wish by saying many happy returns, because the returns, unfortunately, are never happy. That's why every newborn baby cries. Why am I here? What did I do? I am back. Why? So the mind is very much variable. And the mind is again cognizer or cognized. It is cognized because I can say my mind is fleeting. I can observe the mind. I can say I'm having these thoughts now. The mind is an object of my observation. The I is changeless, and the changeless, because the I is changeless, it can watch the changing mind. If the I were also changing and the mind is also changing, who is the watcher? Who is the watched? You have to be, in order to perceive motion, the standpoint of stillness, ishyate, is desirable. If you are also moving and something else is also moving, you can't perceive motion. This is just simple physics. We need to understand this. So if I'm able to perceive the vagaries of the mind, that means what? There is an I that is motionless, changeless, permanent. So the mind which thought itself to be the I cannot be the I. Manaha na aham. There is nothing in common between I and the mind. The mind is changing, I am changeless. Mind is the object of cognition. This cognition, I can say this stupid mind is going to places I don't want it to go. This mind. And the I is the subject of I cognition. And that is another difference. And more differences, we can keep on looking and seeing this. And one more difference, I is sentient. I am the source of existence. What kind of existence? A sentient existence. Chit. This Sat is Chit. Chit is Sat. And what about the mind? Is it sentient? Right now it looks like it is insentient. Because no answer is coming. Is it sentient or is it insentient? It's a tricky one, I'll give you that. Because the mind shines in the borrowed light of consciousness, in the borrowed light of I. So it is blessed with a sentience, a borrowed sentience, but by itself it is inert. It's an object of my observation. You see, there are so many differences between the I and the mind. So many differences. And yet, I take the mind to be myself. And so therefore, the author begins by negating the mind as I. Manaha na aham. And then what else? Oh, maybe I am the buddhi, the intellect. This is also a very strong identification. One is as good as the degrees they have. And some people keep on studying. I don't know why, but they keep on studying one degree after another degree. One person came and told me, I have already got 3 PhDs and I'm doing my fourth one. I wanted to be very polite, but the question came out, why? Yeah, I had to ask why. There is a premium, there is an identification. Because the identification with the buddhi is very strong, because the erudition and the scholarship which one collects throughout one's life becomes a source of what is that, a validation, a source of validation from others. Oh, you know so many words, you know so many things, you have three PhDs, OMG. And yeah, the people just get very excited about all these things. How did you do this? Oh, it's nothing, yeah. After you do one PhD, it's all the same. This is what the person can say. So, like this, there are very much, there is a premium. I give the intellect a kind of an importance that it really does not have. I give it the power to define me. And this becomes a big thing. And you don't want anybody to condescend towards you. Yes, yes, I know. Don't patronize me. I know this already. But here too, a mistake is made. A mistake is made because there is a misidentification. The identification with that which keeps changing all the time. No, but the intellect is very steady. The IQ does not change. Well, the IQ may not change. The intellect may be steady. But then so many things, God forbid, can happen. A stroke can happen. There is this wonderful neuroscientist who studied strokes. And what happened? She had a stroke one day. She knew she was having a stroke. And she was world famous, had written lots of books, had gone to many big important conferences, big meetings, presented her papers, had written so many books. 15 minutes later, she could not even talk, she could not even think, she was in bed. It was a very massive and a very bad stroke. It took her 6 years of rehabilitation to come to some semblance of normalcy. She had to learn everything. She had to learn to walk, she had to learn to talk, she had to learn to feed herself, she had to learn how to dress herself. Everything she had to learn. Nothing, it was all wiped out. She was paralyzed. And I forgot what her name is. Bolte, Jill Bolte. Yes. And she wrote a book, A Bolt of Insight. This was her book after she got rehabilitated. And that was, I think, perhaps her best book, because all the other books were in the field, in these branches of knowledge in which she excelled. And in this book, she writes how proud she was, how much of this identification she had as a person of knowledge, as a person with a big buddhi, Vishala buddhi. And I am the one of big buddhi. This becomes a very important self-delusion, self-identification based on delusion. I am very intelligent, and it's always going to be like that. And I am an intellectual. Who said that? I said that. Why do you say that? Because that's my only claim to fame, and you can't have it because it is mine. It is not only it is mine, first it is mine, then what? It is me. It is me. And so the intellect also cannot be the Atman. Why? Because of all the same reasons. It is changing all the time, and then what? In sleep you are not a PhD, while you are awake you are a PhD. What is this? So, like this, it keeps changing day to day, and then it is inert, second reason, and it is also an object of cognition. It is not the cognizer, it's the object of cognition. And both for the mind and the buddhi, it is a dependent reality. Mind is, buddhi is, because I am. So therefore the philosopher, the French philosopher who said, I think, therefore I am, was wrong. Yeah. Because if he stops thinking, does he stop existing? No. Thankfully, he corrected himself at the end of the life and he said, I am, therefore I can think. This is what we have to totally understand. I am not the buddhi, I am not the mind, I am not the intellect. And then chittani, ahankara. Ahankara will take last. Let us take chittam. Chittam, chittani here because it is a conglomerate of many functions. This faculty of the mind, emotive faculty, the place of where the unconscious mind is stored, and then what else? It is also the place of recalling memory, pratyabhignya, memory. And so there also it cannot be the I. What are the reasons? We can go over all the reasons. Same reasons. It is inert, it's an object of cognition. Number 2, it's an object of cognition. Number 3, it is changing and variable. Now happy, now sad, now good memory, now bad memory, now this, now that. All the time it is changing. It is also an object of cognition. It is not the cognizer. And so therefore, and it is a dependent reality. It is mithya. That is the word for dependent reality. It is mithya. Not satyam, not sat, it is mithya. And so therefore, mithya doesn't mean false. Mithya means a dependent reality. It depends on my existence. It borrows my existence. It shines in a borrowed light. It is not self-shining at all. So this is Chittam, here called Chittani because it is part of a compound of 4 things. Manaha, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittam. So Mano, Buddhi, Ahankara, Chittani. One word. So this Chittam, it's not me. It cannot be me. And this is a very timely piece of teaching, advice, because we tend to put too much premium in the feelings. Too much premium in the feelings. The feelings are as fleeting as the thoughts. In fact, the feelings ride on the back of the thoughts and then come. But we give the feelings too much importance. Oh, I'm sad, I'll always feel this way, I'll never be happy again. These are all conclusions based on one observation, I am sad. And in fact, you are not sad, you are the observer of sadness. You are Satchidananda. Ananda is observing the sadness. You are never sad. But that is not understood. Since it is not understood, it causes a lot of problems. The feelings are elevated on the throne of the I. And the feelings have a very funny, they are very interesting imposters. The more I water them and nourish them, the more they take over. Very much they take over. Long ago, when I first went to the United States, there was these people, 4 or 5 people who lived in the house, some students, and they said to me, please come have dinner with us. I said, okay, thank you very much. What time? 6 o'clock. Okay, I went at 6 o'clock, knocked on the door, no answer. Knocked on the back door, no answer. I had to take 3 buses to get to this place. So that's why I said, let me at least spend some time thinking where they might have gone. Looked in the backyard, nobody was there. Looked in the front yard, nobody was there. Knocked on the back door, nobody came. Knocked on the front door, no, nothing happened. And then I thought maybe they have gone to the market for something. Then waited for half an hour and took the 3 buses back. And then the next day, they were very affectionate again. Oh, how are you? What's happening? What's going on? And I thought, this is very strange. Maybe they just forgot about the whole thing. But I was very curious. So I said, yes, do you remember inviting me to dinner yesterday? Oh, right. So I said, maybe you forgot, maybe you were not at home. No, we were at home. I said, did you hear me knock? Yes, we heard you ring the bell. Was it you? Oh, so sorry. And then, why didn't you open the door? They looked at each other and they said, we didn't feel like it. So, this is what happens when the feelings are elevated to the level of decision making, then we make bad decisions many times. And they were very apologetic. They just wondered, why are these people keeping on knocking? Why are they not going away? Because I stayed there for 5 or 10 minutes knocking because I thought maybe they couldn't hear or maybe they were somewhere in the back. I did not know. And culturally, this was something so alien that I did not know what to think, And so, like this, the feelings are given so much importance. And then now we have, what is that? Now we have the social media to enshrine the feelings in the form of a permanent marker. So that's why people write on, what is that called? X, which was called Twitter before. And then Facebook updates. This is how I'm feeling, this is what it is. And then blogs and vlogs. There's also one thing called vlog, I recently understood. What is that? Video blog. So you video yourself crying and then put it up on the internet. And then later on, you yourself don't feel like looking at it, because it's such a sad picture. But this is what it is. Everything is made permanent because there's all this social media barraging, bombarding, and at us. And so this is in Kali Yuga. I think this is a very important negation because we take the feelings too seriously, and it's fleeting. It's here today, gone today, but we don't allow it. We are not in the habit of observing it and allowing it to pass. The grand guru of Adi Shankaracharya, Gaudapadacharya, says in the Mandukya Karika, Karika is a commentary in verse, Sakashayam vijaniyat, sampraptva na vichalayet. Know the mind to be with the source of the feelings. The mind is always along with the feelings. It is called kashaya. Kashaya means sludge. Means it's thick, it's got viscosity, it's unguent, it is sticky. These feelings are like that. It's the unconscious mind, unprocessed trauma, unprocessed pain from the past, which is lingering heavy in the mind. Suddenly it gets triggered. This ancient sage, even predating Adi Shankaracharya, talks about this. Know the mind to be along with Kashaya. Do not try to go stirring in the pot and see what is this, where is this coming from, all this. Just go about your day. There is a time for an analysis. But right now you're trying to make some decisions, you're trying to go about your day. Don't just go back under the covers. Wrong idea. And just observe it. And when you observe it, both the pleasant and the unpleasant, when you observe the feelings, then you are already the master of them. So the feelings are both pleasant and unpleasant. He discusses both. So when unpleasant thoughts, feelings come up, in meditation, for example, don't go along with them. Don't try to get distracted. Don't get distracted and try to analyze the feeling. Stay with the sakshin, the observer. And then pleasant feelings also come. And there again the sage Gaudapadacharya, the teacher, says very, very beautifully, Na aswadayet rasam tatra. Don't start to enjoy the good memories and the good feelings that come from the chitta while you meditate. Don't do that. Nissango prajnaya bhavet. There is a deeper level of immersion and engagement that is possible for you if you are asanga. If you are an uninvolved observer, you can go deeper. You can understand the truth of yourself in this manner through a deep immersion into the meditation, rather than going and elevating every fancy to a permanent status. Please do not do that, it says. So then we have manaha na aham, then buddhi na aham, then what else? Ahankara. The final one is ahankara. I saved that for last because the ahankara owns up all these things as itself. The ahankara simply means I notion. The I notion that is very much there in the buddhi, the one that owns up the mind as I, owns up everything as I. It is a great imposter. In Sanskritam, what we say about the ahankara is avichara sundaraha. Sundara means beautiful. Avichara means as long as you don't inquire into it, it is very beautiful. Like a model on the runway. In runway model, you see coming down in some dress she is modeling. And you say, so beautiful, what a wonderful person, look at that. But when you go closer and do some inquiry, starting with the eyelashes, everything is false. Eyelashes got from the shop. Nails, press on nails, okay? Pressed on from somewhere else. And then whatever is all the creams and lotions and potions for every notion about the body also bought from various shops. And then so the complexion you see belongs to the shop, and then not to her. And then the eyelashes do not belong to her. Nothing belongs to, even the clothes do not belong to her. It all is there. It is belonging to the fashion industry, whoever the fashion line is that is sponsoring the modeling. And so like this, avichara sundaraha, the ahankara is like that. It says this is all me, me, me. But when you analyze this me, it does not stand enquiry. Vicharam na sahate. It cannot stand enquiry. Like some of the modern day politicians in every country. You launch an enquiry and they just go hide somewhere. So like this, the ahankara is the greatest spoof, the greatest bluff. It cannot stand any kind of enquiry. Ahankara api na aham, I am not the ahankara. And then what else is there? Then the sense organs are tackled, because here too there is an identification. Nacha shrotra jihve, nacha ghrana netre. Shrotra jihve. Shrotra is ears. This we have talked about at length, so I can go a little faster. I am not my ears. Who has to say I am not my ears? It sounds funny even to negate that or deny that. But there is the ahankara owning up the ears. The one who says, I have perfect pitch. That is where. I am pitch perfect. Means there is a premium and an ownership of the ears. I am a 20/20, meaning what? I have 20/20 vision. I can see everything. I don't need glasses. There is a pride in that. That pride means a misplaced ownership. That's what we are calling pride here. There is a manita. There is a certain kind of it feels like an achievement. So, nacha shrotra jihve. Jihva is again, tongue. People say like this, I am a tea taster in Darjeeling. Yeah. And the very sad life for a tea taster. They should not eat many things. They have to keep their palates very pure. And whole day they are tasting tea. Grade 1, grade 2, grade 3. The tips of the tips of the leaves that have the best taste, etc. And they can't swallow, otherwise there'll be a jittery mess. So much tea if you drink all day long, what will happen? What will happen to all the caffeine in the body? So they have to swirl it in the mouth and spit it out. And so there is a ahankara there. I am a tea taster. I have a gourmet palate, etc., etc. So therefore, we have this negation. Nacha shrotra jihve, nacha ghrana netre. Ghrana is smell. I am not my sense of smell. And finally, I am not my eyes. I am not my eyes. This is a very important teaching. I am not my eyes. Because again, with the eyes also, there is a lot of ego connected to all the sense organs. And here there is a negation of all that. Is this enough to negate? No. We have to go one more level and negate the source from where the sense organs, the mind, the buddhi, the ahankara, chittam have come. We'll see that in the morning. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaga Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.